Hello, everybody. It's Chuck Carnevale, co-founder of FastGraphs, the Fundamentals Analyzer software tool, aka Mr. Valuation. I'm joined here by my son, Colton. And before I go on with this video, I want to congratulate him and his team of developers on doing an outstanding job in getting our new and improved version of FastGraphs launched pretty much bug-free. We did have some problems, but I would say the launch went real smoothly, and we still have some things to work on. That's why we launched this in beta, so we'll be bringing in some enhancements and adding some features. And we actually left a feature or two off that we're in the process of building, and they'll be added shortly. But what we're going to do here, this is one of many tutorials we're going to do where we're going to show you, our valued subscribers, how to utilize the new tool and how to utilize some of the quirks, some of the differences between it and the legacy product. And one of the ones we're getting a lot of questions on, and it's very common, is we're going to look at the portfolio section. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to turn this over to my son, Colton, and let him go ahead and go through how to navigate, general navigation of the portfolio section. Colton?
Yep. Thanks, Chuck. All right. Hey, everybody. Colton here. So what we're going to look at is how to create a portfolio and how to just navigate portfolios in general. So what we have at the top are our preset premium portfolios. Now, right now we are in a premium account. So all of these are accessible and graphable by this user. So if you're in a basic account, what you'll see are locks over here, as well as not being able to access that. Now, everybody does have access to this free trial portfolio. And what this does is this gives basic users and free users the ability to utilize premium level permissions for all of the stocks specifically in this portfolio. We'll show this later as a different demo, but let's say you're a basic account and you want to utilize and test out like sales per share and things like that on the historical graph or even fund graphs. You can go into this portfolio and then utilize those premium level permissions for these specific stocks. Now, looking at some navigation, we've got some navigation up here at the top. So this button will bring you back to the portfolios, or you can even just click portfolios again as well, and that will bring you back to the page. So then once again, we're on the preset portfolios right here. And then we've got my portfolios, which are the portfolios that you create down here, all sortable. And then you just click into them and hit graph on those to interface with those portfolios. Now, up at the top right corner, we have create portfolio. So this is how you would create a new portfolio. Let's just call it new portfolio for this demo video. And so you hit create portfolio. So once you're in the portfolio, you'll see this add tickers. And from here, you just follow the prompt to add tickers to your portfolio. So let's just add a handful of tickers. We'll add ABC, we'll add AMGN, we'll add AMP, and let's just stick with those for now. So hit update, and now your portfolio is populated with these tickers. From here, you can delete tickers by selecting them from these checkboxes right here. So if I wanted to delete Amgen, I can now click this delete button up here. It asks me if I want to delete it. It will delete all of your records permanently. So if you have transactions or anything associated with those, whenever you delete a ticker, that will be permanently deleted. So up in the top right corner, we can create another portfolio, just a way to create a new portfolio if you want to, so you don't have to go back to the main portfolios page. We can rename this to, anything from here. So I can rename this to demo. Notice it's now renamed demo. I can even delete the portfolio from here. We won't delete that now, but you just click this, follow the prompt, and the portfolio will be deleted with all of the information as well. So once again, all your transactions, anything will be deleted with this. We won't continue to store information on that. Now we do have the transactions tab, which here is where you can begin to add transactions to your portfolio. All you would do is follow these links and follow these prompts, which we'll do more demos for this in the future, and then creating views, which Chuck is about to cover that. So Chuck.
All right, thank you, Colton. That was kind of a brief overview of just the functionality of the portfolio section. Now you notice it's a lot different than the old one. But one of the real advantages this new version of the portfolio section gives us is the ability to really customize how we look at our portfolios, and really it helps us manage our portfolios a lot better. And how you do that is you go into this Create View tab here. All right, and once you've clicked that, you want to rename the view. So I'm going to call this view, for example, Historic. Actually, before I do that, I actually got a little ahead of myself. Let me pick a portfolio first that I want to create a view from. So I'm going to go back into portfolios. I'm going to go down here and I'm going to look for a portfolio that I've already built, which would be the best contenders portfolio. And I'm going to click on that. And this opens it up, and I've got about 11 stocks in here, Amerisource, Amgen. These are contenders that I think are very attractive. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create two views here just to illustrate how this works. The first one I'm going to create is what I'm going to call a historic view. All right, a historic view allows you to evaluate various things such as historical earnings growth or historical dividend growth. And these are dividend contenders, so those are the two things I'll be focusing on. I just simply here and I would go earnings growth and I would click 3 as an example. Now 5, 10, and 15. You could choose, as many as you want. And then just to keep this simple, the next thing I'm going to look for is the dividend compound annual growth rate. And I'm going to pick again 3, 5, 10, and 15. All right. Now I can also do the average growth rate if I want, but I'm just going to stick with this. So now I've created this historical view. I hit update, and you notice that the name historic has been set up here in my portfolio section. And now I've got earnings growth for each company. So with AmerisourceBergen here, 3-year earnings growth has been 12%, 5 has been 10.5%, 10 has been 13.8%. So you can see there's been a pretty consistent amount of growth. 15 has been 15%. But more importantly, since these are dividend portfolios and I'm interested in the dividend growth, I can go and look at the 3-year historical dividend growth has been 5%. The 5-year has been 5.25%, and the longer-term growth has been much higher at 15% and even 27%. Well, that's telling me that the dividend growth rate has been slowing down, which is not unusual. But this allows me, people have always asked me, can you show me where I can do the 5-year dividend growth rate? Well, you can do it right here, in this column. But you could also do the 3-year or the 10-year or the 15-year or, whatever options you have available for you. So now I've created the historic, and I focused on the historic tab. I'm going to create a new view here, and I'm going to call this one, true to my name, Valuation. All right, now here what I'm focusing on is I'm looking more for things that are valuation oriented. So I'll probably go ahead and put the credit rating and the sector and the subsector just to give me some context here. But I'm going to do things like PE ratio, price to cash flow, earnings yield, cash flow yield, and dividend yield, because the dividend yield tab on the overlay tab on the fast graph does allow you to use dividend yield as the valuation. So this gives me my basic valuation parameters here. I'm going to hit update, and now I have a view which gives me the valuation. Now I've got the sectors, and I've got the credit ratings of the company, which give me a quality, but here I really have the views. Now, those of you who've been following my work know that I'm looking for a PE of 15 or lower. You can see all of these companies basically have that or meet that threshold. Just Anthem is just slightly above a PE of 15. But I'm really interested in an earnings yield of 6.67% or higher, 6.5% or higher. And once again, I've got that earnings yield, and I've got the same with cash flow yield. So now what I've done is I've created the portfolio, and I've got these various options here. I've got the summary, which just lists my holdings and gives me the price of the stocks as they closed the previous close. I've got my transaction tab that Cole talked about, where I can put transactions in here. This will allow me to put the buy and sell dots on the portfolio. We won't do that now. We're going to, as Cole mentioned, do that in a forthcoming video. But now I've got these two tabs. I've got historical growth tabs, and I've got a valuation tab. But I'm also free to continue to create more tabs as my imagination or needs would require me doing. So this is the new and improved portfolio function. I believe it really gives you the ability to have more transparency and understanding of what the makeup of your portfolio is. Now, you can create one portfolio with all of these metrics on it if you chose, but obviously it becomes, unwieldy when you do that. In this case, you can focus on the things that are important, income, valuation, growth, whatever the case may be.
Chuck, before you move on, let's also show, because there are some new users to the tool, that you can reorganize the headers by dragging and dropping them, but also getting to the fast graphs tool from the portfolios by clicking on the ticker names as well.
Yes, that's actually real important. Now, what you can do is you can rearrange any of these columns, is what first thing that Colt's referring to. And so you can organize these to see them in whatever order you'd like them to be in. But then once you're in the column, if you click on the column, and you either go from lowest to highest or highest to lowest, or if you're looking at the sectors, it'll organize it by the sectors and or the subsectors if you want. So that's actually a very important feature. Now, what's interesting about this, in the old version, the legacy version, you had to save this. You no longer have to save this. Once you set it, the next time you open the portfolio, it'll stay in that form. So that's a real handy feature, and again, that allows you to, visualize and organize your portfolios so that you can keep track of, how your valuations are, what your dividend yields are, and so on and so forth. Now, I didn't put dividend yield, I think, on any of these, but you can. You can add dividend yield, or again, whatever your imagination needs. Was there anything else?
And then also show them how they can click on one of the ticker names.
Yes, and then of course you can go directly into the stocks by just clicking on the ticker name here at the left. So, it gives you a lot of power and a lot of flexibility. But now once you've done this, and you're going into the portfolio, you'd want to pick the portfolio that you have. Now, eventually we're going to have this key to where it'll go directly into the portfolio that you're looking at. But I can go down here and look at the portfolio, which was Best Contenders. Click on that. Now I've got the Best Contenders portfolio, and I can just go through this here and look at each of them individually. Or again, I could go back into the portfolios, go to the Best Contenders, and then just, pick the individual stocks from here. There's a lot of ways to handle the portfolios. You can search for portfolios here, as we mentioned earlier, or once you pick a portfolio, then you can also go into the stock directly from the portfolio, but then stay in the portfolio section to basically be able to go through each of the individual stocks in the portfolio. So, if I'm in core income buys here, these are all the stocks that are in core income buys. I can look at them down here this way. I can go through them one at a time this way. And as you notice, this new version is a lot quicker to be able to go through your portfolio than it was in the past. So anyway, that's the portfolio section. Colton, anything else we missed?
I think that's it for now.
All right, good. Well, again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We've got a lot of tutorials coming to help you utilize this tool better, more efficiently, and more effectively, and really at the end of the day to help you make better long-term decisions. We're all very excited about this new version of Fast Graphs. And again, I want to take a moment again to once again congratulate Colton and his team on a job well done. We still have a lot of work to do. One of the advantages of this new version of our tool, it will be the ability to be adding a lot of new features and enhancements. You'll be seeing those coming out periodically as time goes on. Everybody, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. And we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, guys.